Hi, I am Sophia. Welcome to True Payback, where story hits different. Hit subscribe. Let's dive in.
My name is Rachel Torres and I'm 31 years old. For most of my life I was the family disappointment. My older sister Victoria got the college fund, the down payment help, the connections. I got lectures about how I needed to get serious about life. What my family didn't know was that I'd been serious for a very long time. Just not in the way they expected. 6 years ago, I purchased the Azure Coast Resort and Spa for $8.7 million. It was a distressed property with incredible bones, and I saw potential where others saw problems. Today it's valued at $23 million and books out 9 months in advance. Forbes featured it in their Hidden Luxury Destinations list last year. My family has no idea. To them, I'm still Rachel who works from home doing something with computers. They're not entirely wrong. I do work from home. I just happen to own a boutique hotel management company with 7 properties across 3 states. But this story isn't about my success. It's about the family reunion where everything finally came to light. Growing up, my parents made it clear who mattered. Victoria was the golden child. Beautiful, charming, married to a surgeon. She got a $40,000 wedding, a $60,000 down payment on her first house, and my parents' undying approval. I got different treatment. When I asked for help with college tuition, Dad said, "Maybe college isn't for everyone." When I started my first business at 23, Mom told relatives I was playing entrepreneur and needed to get a real job. The breaking point came when I was 25. I just closed my first major hotel consulting contract, $180,000 for a 6-month project. I was excited to share the news at Thanksgiving. "That's nice, dear," Mom said, not looking up from her phone. "But when are you going to get a stable job with benefits?" Victoria laughed. "Rachel, you can't list freelancer on a mortgage application." "Trust me, I know." Dad nodded. "Your sister's right. You need to think about your future." I was thinking about my future. I just wasn't sharing it with them anymore. Over the next 6 years I built quietly. My consulting firm grew into a management company. I purchased my first property, a failing bed and breakfast in Vermont, for $1.2 million. Within 18 months I turned it around and sold it for $2.8 million. I used those profits to buy the Azure Coast Resort. The resort had been mismanaged into near bankruptcy. The previous owner was desperate. I got it for $8.7 million, easily $5 million under market value for the property alone. It needed work, but I had a vision and the capital to execute it. I spent $3.2 million on renovations. New spa facilities, updated rooms, complete restaurant overhaul, upgraded technology systems. I hired an exceptional general manager named Marcus Chin, poached from a Ritz-Carlton property. I brought in a chef from Miami. I rebuilt the entire brand. Within 2 years we were profitable. Within 4 years, we were the highest-rated resort in the region. Last year, we grossed $7.3 million in revenue with a 34% profit margin. And my family still thought I was broke. To be fair, I encouraged that belief. I drove a 6-year-old Honda. I lived in a modest apartment in the city. I never posted on social media about my properties or my success. When family asked what I did, I said, "Hospitality consulting. It pays the bills." Mom would sigh. "Well, at least you're paying your bills." I wasn't hiding because I was ashamed. I was watching. Testing. Seeing who would love me without the money. Seeing who would support me when they thought I had nothing. The answer was, nobody in my family. So I built my empire in silence. And I waited. The Torres family reunion happens every 3 years. It's always a production. My mom's way of showing off whatever success Victoria has achieved recently. This year, Mom was particularly excited because Victoria's husband had just been promoted to chief of surgery. "We're doing it at the Azure Coast Resort," Mom announced on the family group chat 6 months before. "I found this incredible place online. Very exclusive." I stared at my phone. My resort. She'd chosen my resort. "It's pricey," Mom continued, "but the Torres family deserves the best. Everyone needs to chip in $800 per family for the weekend." I texted back, "Sounds great. Count me in." Victoria replied, "Rachel, are you sure you can afford $800? We can cover you if needed." The condescension was stunning. I was worth $34 million. She was offering to cover my $800. I've got it, I replied. Thanks though. Over the next months, the family chat filled with excitement. My aunt posted pictures of the resort's website. My cousin talked about the spa treatments she'd booked. My mom shared the menu for our private family dinner. Nobody knew I'd approved every single detail personally. A week before the reunion, I called Marcus Chin, my general manager. The Torres family reunion, I said. That's my family. There was a pause. Your family booked your resort and doesn't know you own it? Correct. Miss Torres, that's either brilliant or insane. Maybe both, I admitted. Here's what I need from you. We planned carefully. My family would check in normally. They'd get excellent service. They always did at my properties. But when the moment was right, Marcus would reveal the truth in the most professional, devastating way possible. I'll make it subtle, Marcus promised. Professional but unmistakable. Perfect. I arrived at the Azure Coast Resort on Friday afternoon. Walking through the entrance, I felt that familiar pride. The lobby was stunning. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the ocean, Italian marble floors, fresh flowers everywhere. Soft jazz played over the sound system. The scent of the signature candles we had custom-made filled the air. This was mine. I built this. I checked in at the desk. The front desk agent, Sophia, knew exactly who I was but played it perfectly. Welcome back, Miss Torres, she said with a professional smile. Your usual suite? The garden suite this time, I said. I want to see the new landscaping. Excellent choice. Your luggage will be up shortly. I was heading toward the elevator when I heard my mother's voice. Excuse me, we're checking in for the Torres family reunion. I turned. My entire family was arriving. Parents, sister, brother-in-law, aunts, uncles, cousins. About 30 people total, dragging designer luggage and radiating that particular energy of people who are somewhere expensive and want everyone to know it. I walked over. Hey everyone. My mom looked at me with surprise. Rachel, what are you doing here? I'm attending the reunion, I said calmly. Same as you. Victoria's eyes narrowed. Rachel, this place is $600 a night for the cheapest room. How are you affording this? I saved up, I said simply. Dad shook his head. Rachel, if you're having money problems, you should have said something. We could have worked something out. I'm not having money problems. Mom lowered her voice, glancing around at the elegant lobby. Sweetheart, there's no shame in admitting when somewhere is out of your budget. This place is way above your pay grade. Maybe you'd be more comfortable at the Comfort Inn down the road? It's very nice. My Aunt Linda nodded. That's probably more your speed, honey. This place is really for special occasions. I'll be fine, I said. Victoria sighed dramatically. Rachel, pride isn't worth going into debt over. Seriously, stick to motels that fit your income level. There's no judgment. Dad smirked at Mom. She's stubborn. Always has been. Every word was designed to make me feel small. To remind me of my place in the family hierarchy. To ensure I knew I didn't belong in their world of luxury and success. I replied calmly, enjoy your stay. Then I walked to the elevator, my heart pounding but my face serene. Behind me, I heard my mom say to the desk agent, I'm so sorry about that. She doesn't understand places like this. I pulled out my phone in the elevator and texted Marcus. My family just checked in. Please come introduce yourself as my employee in 10 minutes. They're heading to the terrace for welcome drinks. Marcus replied immediately, on my way. I went to my suite, the garden suite with private terrace, ocean views and bathroom bigger than my first apartment. I designed much of it myself. I changed clothes, taking my time letting the anticipation build. Then I headed down to watch the show. The family had gathered on the main terrace for welcome cocktails. It was golden hour and the resort looked spectacular. The infinity pool reflected the sunset, the ocean stretched endlessly beyond, and the string lights we'd installed last year created a magical atmosphere. I stood near the bar, sipping sparkling water, watching my family claim the best tables and order expensive drinks. I could get used to this, Victoria said loudly. Marcus, that's my husband, says we should come here for our anniversary. Mom beamed. You two deserve it. You work so hard. My cousin Jennifer looked around. How did you even find this place, Aunt Patricia? I have excellent taste, Mom said proudly. I always research the best. I checked my watch. Right on time, Marcus Chin appeared on the terrace. Marcus was impressive. Early 40s, impeccably dressed in a tailored suit, the kind of commanding presence that made people pay attention. He'd been in luxury hospitality for 20 years and knew exactly how to own a room. He walked directly to my family's table. "Good evening," he said with a warm, professional smile. "I'm Marcus Chin, General Manager of the Azure Coast Resort. I wanted to personally welcome the Torres family and ensure everything is perfect for your reunion." Mom lit up. "Oh, how wonderful. Yes, everything is beautiful. We spare no expense on excellence," Marcus said smoothly. "Our owner is very particular about every detail." Dad nodded approvingly. "Smart businessperson. This place is first class." "I'll pass along your compliments," Marcus said. "Actually, there's someone I'd like you to meet." He turned and gestured to me. "Our owner wanted to personally greet you." I walked over from the bar. The confusion on their faces was immediate. "Rachel," Mom said. "What are you doing?" Marcus smiled. "I'd like to introduce Rachel Torres, owner of the Azure Coast Resort and CEO of Coastal Elite Hospitality Group. She's owned this property for 6 years." The silence was deafening. Victoria's mouth actually fell open. "What?" "Ms. Torres acquired the resort in 2019, Marcus continued, completely professional, and personally oversaw the $3.2 million renovation that transformed it into the premier destination it is today. She's been very hands-on with every aspect of the property." My Aunt Linda's face went pale. You own this place?" "Yes," I said simply. Dad stared at me. "That's impossible. You don't have that kind of money." "I purchased it for $8.7 million, I said calmly. "Current valuation is $23 million. We grossed $7.3 million last year with strong profit margins. I also own 6 other properties in Vermont, Colorado, and California." Mom's voice was barely a whisper. 6 years. You've owned this for 6 years and never told us." "You never asked," I said. "You assumed I was failing. I let you believe it." Victoria found her voice, defensive now. "Why would you hide something like this from your family?" I looked at her steadily. "Because I wanted to see who would love me when they thought I had nothing. Turns out nobody." "That's not fair," Mom protested. "Isn't it?" I kept my voice calm, factual. "Dad, when I was 25, I tried to tell you about my first major contract. You told me I needed to get a real job. Mom, you've spent years telling relatives I was playing entrepreneur. Victoria, you offered to cover my $800 reunion fee because you assumed I couldn't afford it." "We were trying to help," Victoria said weakly. "No," I said. "You were trying to keep me in my place. The family disappointment. The one who never measured up." Marcus interjected smoothly, "Miss Torres is being modest. She's actually quite successful. Forbes featured this property last year. She's also been approached by 3 different hotel chains about acquisition. The last offer was $28 million. My cousin Jennifer's eyes were huge. $28 million? I turned it down, I said. I prefer to build rather than sell. The terrace had gone completely quiet. Other guests were pretending not to listen while absolutely listening. Dad's face had turned red. "If you had this kind of money, why didn't you help your family?" And there was the real question. Not "why didn't you tell us?" or "how can we support you?" but "why didn't you give us money?" "Help you how?" I asked. "Help Victoria, who got a $40,000 wedding and a $60,000 down payment while I got nothing. Help you and Mom, who told me college wasn't for everyone when I asked for tuition help." "Exactly what kind of help did you want?" Mom's voice shook. "We raised you. We gave you everything. You gave me criticism," I said, still calm. "You gave me dismissal. You gave me the message over and over that I wasn't good enough. So I stopped trying to be good enough for you. I became good enough for myself." Victoria stood up, her voice rising. "This is insane. You've been lying to us for years." "I never lied," I corrected. "I said I worked in hospitality consulting." "That's true. I consult on my own properties. You assumed that meant I was struggling." "I let you assume." "That's manipulation," she accused. "That's survival," I said quietly. I learned early that showing you my success would only lead to demands and resentment. So I built in private. And I've been happier than I've ever been. Marcus stepped in again, perfectly timed. I should mention Ms. Torres has been incredibly generous with her staff. She paid for my daughter's college tuition. She created a profit-sharing program for all employees. She funded scholarships for hospitality students at the local college. She's helped dozens of people. Just not us, Dad said bitterly. No, I agreed. Not you. The sun had fully set now. The terrace lights created a warm glow, but the atmosphere at my family's table was ice cold. My Aunt Linda spoke up, her voice careful. Rachel, I think we all need to apologize. We've clearly misjudged things. You judged correctly, I said. You judged that I wasn't worth your respect unless I had money. Now I have money and suddenly you want to apologize. That tells me everything I need to know. Mom started crying. Real tears or manipulative tears, I couldn't tell anymore. Maybe both. How can you be so cold to your own mother? I'm not being cold, I said. I'm being honest. For the first time in my adult life, I'm being completely honest with you about who I am and what I've accomplished. And you're upset because it doesn't fit your narrative. Victoria's husband Marcus, the surgeon, spoke for the first time. Rachel, I think you're being unfair. Family is complicated. Maybe they made mistakes, but they love you. I looked at him. Did Victoria tell you she offered to pay my reunion fee because she assumed I was too poor to afford it? That was last week. He glanced at his wife. Victoria looked away. I rest my case, I said. Marcus stepped in smoothly. I should let you all return to your evening. Ms. Torres, the quarterly reports are ready when you're available. And the group from Denver wants to discuss their December booking. Thank you, Marcus. I'll review everything tomorrow. He nodded to my family. Enjoy your stay. If you need anything, our staff is available 24/7. Then he left, leaving them with the reality of the situation. I looked at my family one more time. I'm going to dinner. Alone. You all have a wonderful weekend. Everything is paid for. That was part of your package. Enjoy the resort. I built it for guests to be happy. That includes you. I turned to leave. Rachel, wait, Mom called out. I paused but didn't turn around. Are you going to kick us out? I looked back over my shoulder. No. You're guests. You'll be treated with the same excellence as everyone else. That's what professionals do. Then I walked away, leaving them on the terrace in stunned silence. I didn't see my family much the rest of the weekend. They kept to themselves and I kept to my routine. Morning meetings with Marcus, reviewing operations, checking on the new construction project on the North Wing. But the resort staff told me everything. Victoria tried to complain about her room to get upgraded. When the front desk explained that she already had one of the best rooms in the resort, she demanded to speak to management. Marcus politely informed her that management had personally approved all room assignments and they were final. Dad tried to get a discount on the spa services, claiming family of the owner. Our spa director, Elena, informed him that Ms. Torres had already covered the entire reunion package, and there were no additional discounts available. Mom tried to get my personal phone number from 3 different staff members. All of them politely declined, citing privacy policies. On Sunday morning, as families were checking out, my Aunt Linda approached me in the lobby. Rachel, can we talk? Just for a minute. I gestured to the lobby seating area. We sat in the leather armchairs overlooking the ocean. I want to apologize, Linda said. Really apologize. Not because you have money, but because I was part of the family that made you feel less than. That wasn't right. Thank you, I said. Can I ask you something? Go ahead. Are you happy? Really happy? I thought about it. Yes. I am. I love what I do. I love building beautiful spaces and creating experiences for people. I have a team that respects me and work that challenges me. I'm very happy. She nodded slowly. Your mom is devastated. I imagine so. She keeps saying she doesn't understand where she went wrong. I looked at my aunt. She went wrong when she decided love was conditional. When she made it clear that approval had to be earned through specific achievements she valued, not through being myself. She went wrong every time she introduced me to people as our younger daughter who's still figuring things out, while introducing Victoria as our successful daughter. Linda winced. She did do that. Constantly, I said. For years. So yes, I'm sure she's devastated now that she realizes the daughter she dismissed is actually the successful one. But that devastation is about losing status, not about losing me. She lost me years ago. She just didn't notice. That's harsh, Rachel. That's honest, I corrected. I'm done being gentle with people's feelings at the expense of my own dignity. Linda stood up. For what it's worth, I'm proud of you. Truly. What you've built here is remarkable. Thank you, I said. That actually means something. She walked away to join the rest of the family gathering their luggage. My mom approached next. Her eyes were red from crying. Rachel, please. Can we start over? Start over how? I asked. What would be different? I'd support you. I'd be proud of you. I'd tell everyone about your success. You'd be proud of my success, I said. Not proud of me. There's a difference. That's not fair. Mom, answer honestly. If I was still struggling, if I was still doing small consulting projects and barely paying rent, would you want to start over then? Would you suddenly respect me? She hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. That's what I thought, I said gently. You love the idea of a successful daughter. You don't actually love me. I'm your mother. Of course I love you. You love the version of me that reflects well on you. You always have. When I didn't fit that version, you dismissed me. Now I do fit it. I'm even more successful than Victoria. And suddenly you want a relationship. But it's still conditional, Mom. It's still about what I can do for your image. She started crying again. What do you want from me? Nothing, I said simply. That's the point. I don't need anything from you anymore. Not approval, not support, not money, not validation. I built all of this without you. I'm proud of what I accomplished specifically because I did it alone. So that's it. We're just done. We were done a long time ago, I said. You just didn't realize it. Dad appeared, his face set in that stubborn expression I knew so well. Rachel, your mother is trying. The least you could do is meet her halfway. I met her halfway for 25 years, I said. I tried to earn your love in every way I could think of. Nothing was ever enough. So I stopped trying and built something real instead. I don't owe you anything now. We're your parents. Biologically, I agreed. But parenthood is more than biology. Support, encouragement, unconditional love. You provided housing and food. I'm grateful for that. But you didn't provide the rest. Victoria joined them, her arms crossed. So what, you're just going to cut us all off? Be alone. I'm not alone, I said. I have Marcus and the team here. I have my staff at all 7 properties. I have business partners and mentors and friends who believed in me from the beginning. I have people who loved me when I was broke and driving a 15-year-old car and living in a studio apartment. Those people are my family now. Blood is blood, Dad said. Blood is biology, I countered. Family is chosen. Marcus appeared at my elbow. Perfect timing as always. Miss Torres, your 11 a.m. call is in 5 minutes. Thank you, Marcus. I stood up, facing my family one last time. Your checkout is covered. The staff will handle your luggage. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Rachel, please, Mom started. Goodbye, I said firmly. Then I walked away, Marcus beside me, toward my office and my real life. Behind me, I heard Victoria say, "She's unbelievable." No, my Aunt Linda said quietly. She's done. There's a difference. 3 months later, I received an email from my mother. She'd written a long message about family therapy, about wanting to understand where things went wrong, about hoping we could rebuild. I read it twice. Then I filed it in a folder labeled "Maybe Someday" and went back to work. The Azure Coast Resort won the Regional Excellence in Hospitality Award that month. Marcus accepted it on my behalf while I was in Colorado closing on our 8th property, a ski lodge with incredible potential. I posted a photo of the award on my business Instagram. Not my personal page. My family still doesn't have access to that. Just the business page that I'd been building for years while they thought I was failing. Victoria sent a congratulatory text. I replied with a simple, "Thanks." That's where we are now. Polite strangers who share DNA. I don't hate my family. Hate requires energy I'd rather spend building things. But I don't trust them either. They've shown me who they are consistently for years. I believe them. My real family is here. Marcus and the team, the staff who've grown with the company, the people who saw potential in me when I had more vision than capital. Last week we closed on the ski lodge. Total portfolio value is now $89 million. 3 major hotel chains have made acquisition offers. I've turned them all down. I'm not building this to sell. I'm building this because I can. Because someone once told me to stick to motels and I decided to own the resort instead. Some people would say I should forgive my family. That life is short and grudges are heavy. But this isn't a grudge. It's a boundary. It's me finally understanding that I don't have to earn love through achievement. And I don't have to accept crumbs from people who should have given me the whole meal. I'm 31 years old. I own $89 million in luxury properties. I employ 340 people across 7 locations. Forbes interviewed me last month about women in hospitality leadership. And the best part? I did it all without them. That's not revenge. That's not spite. That's just success.